Hi, this is Charlie Adler with I Drink on the Job, interviewing Mike McCarthy of Capitol City Brew Pub. How you doing, Michael?
How you doing?
Good morning. I know it's rather on the early side.
That's okay.
Tell me a little bit about Capitol City Brew Pub and what's going on. I hear you have some plans, so maybe you can update us with your new restaurant. Tell us what's going on.
Sure. Yeah, we're a small local chain in D.C. and Northern Virginia area, 3 locations. We opened up in 1992, our first location. We're in the midst of a little expansion where we are expanding our brewery that we're currently at here in Arlington, Virginia. We are opening another concept in DC, a little more high-end food that I'm going to be making 5 different drafts for as well. So we're kind of expanding more than just brew pub locations and hitting different types of foods and supplying our own beer, local beer to it all.
So can you tell us what the new name of the beer will be for the new place, or is that top secret still?
We don't actually. It's not even top secret as much as we haven't totally nailed down the names yet.
Okay. So you're in the process right now.
Yeah. So we're still working on that.
Tell me a little bit about, now we're right at the brewery itself. This is Shirlington, so this is where the beer is produced.
You got it. This is the brew house right here. We're seeing 3 tanks right now. The middle tank is our brew kettle. And that is where our wort is boiled. Over to the left here is the first part of the process, which is the mash tun, where we're bringing in all the malted barley and creating a mash with hot water, converting starch to sugar, and getting what we want out of it as far as color. Down the end, hot liquor vessel, real fancy name for a big hot water tank. And that's brewing water, cleaning tanks, any kind of hot water that we need to sanitize lines. So we brew here quite often. We're fortunate enough we're about number 24th in the country in production in brew pubs. There's 1,000 brew pubs in the United States.
Wow, okay.
So we make roughly 5,500 kegs of beer a year out of this little place.
Wow.
And,
it's amazing.
Self-distribute to our other locations, so we don't have to deal with distributors, which is really nice. So it's all in-house, very hands-on, and we get to control our beer. We don't have anybody outside of our company that tells us what we have to do, or we don't have any outside accounts. It's all in-house within our location, so we're in complete control of our beer, which is a nice thing for sure.
So tell me, I always like to talk about food, but just kind of an idea. What's your connection with food? Well, Capitol City's connection with food, your connection with food and beer, and how do you see it as part of the meal? How do you personally choose a beer, or what do you?
Beer is a great complement to food. In any course, appetizer down to dessert beers, certainly. But the biggest thing is it needs to do that. It needs to complement it. You don't want something that's overpowering the food. You don't want something that is leaving so much flavor in your mouth that it's masking the food. They need to be able to play off of each other, whether it's a hoppy beer cooling your mouth down from something spicy, wings or Thai food, to a beer that has a little bit of an acidic quality to it that might pair well with some greens or a salad. But it should all be in harmony together, and one shouldn't really rise above the other. And it's a personal preference. Many people have different ideas on what that harmony is. So
there's no one beer pairing for any food stuff or whatever. What's one of your secret ones? Like at midnight or 1 a.m. when you're having a craving, what are you grabbing for in the fridge?
I really like room temperature stouts. You go to Ireland and that's how they drink their Guinness. But dark beers at room temperatures, I think. Are just unparalleled as far as the chocolate and the roast and dark malt flavors that come out, and they become much less bitter, much less astringent, and you get a real creamy, fuller mouthfeel. And so temperature always doesn't help with beer.
What's your breakfast beer? Do you have a breakfast beer?
My breakfast beer, one of the things that we brew here at Capitol City Brewing Company is a beer called Fuel, and it's an imperial coffee stout. So it's 9% alcohol mixed with 31 gallons of water that had 15 pounds of coffee steeped in it.
Man.
and it all gets mixed together and carbonated. And you know, we're trying to take over the Bloody Mary market with that beer for sure.
That's a great idea. So you get your coffee, you get
your caffeine,
your alcohol.
You know, you can take the edge off first thing in the morning. I wouldn't even mind if you put a straw in it and a couple of ice cubes. So
sounds very good, Mike. Well, listen, thank you, Mike McCarthy from Capital City Brew Pub. This is Charlie Adler with I Drink on the Job.